Afternoon. My name is Dr. Ferrara, and I am here offering relationship counseling and coaching. And we're going to talk about different aspects of relationships in general. Okay. So if you stay to the end, I'm going to give you resources to download for yourself so you and your partner can work on a more harmonious relationship. Okay. First, the basics of any good relationship is that you have mutual respect for one another, that you share similar intellectual abilities because you have to be able to converse. You hope the person has similar values because you're going to have a family or not have a family, or you're going to bring in extended family. All those things need to be looked at and discussed. And then, of course, you want that physical compatibility, that physical connection. So you do need all three. You need the spiritual, the values, the education, and as well as the physical togetherness. Now, that part's easy. Everybody knows physical togetherness is great, especially when it's new and it's a beginning. It's very exciting, but you need more than that to work. Now, in the old days, they used to say opposites always make the best formula for attraction, but that's an old cliche. We've all heard it a million times. Opposites attract, but it's a nice cliche, but it doesn't really help when you truly are very extended opposites. Okay, there's a whole spectrum of range of personality values that individuals need to take to the relationship. For any relationship to work, a level of give and take must occur. You're not going to win it all, and your partner's not going to win it all. So it takes two very mature individuals. I said mature. So mature individuals to be able to sit and compromise and talk without letting their frustration and their anger seep into the conversation, which of course then ends up in an argument. We want to make this a win-win. We want to help you understand how to share and compromise in a relationship, especially when you've got time and love invested. So let's say you're in this loving relationship, time goes by, and your partner says, I need a break. I need to break up. We're like, oh no, those are dreaded words. You need a break? Well, what does that mean? Well, usually a woman would automatically assume it's another woman. Men may get a little curious about it, but sometimes it catches them totally off guard because men haven't been paying attention to the signs that you might be unhappy, or perhaps you didn't express yourself to say that you were unhappy. Give them a chance to fix it. Now, how do you deal with the breakup once it happens, especially if you love that person? It hurts like heck. There's no easy way to get around it. It hurts like heck. So you're going to have to bear with it and ask yourself if perhaps it was really love in the first place. You really have to examine the relationship, and you can do that clearer when the person's not involved in your life and you have this break. So rather than beat yourself up and demoralize yourself about the break, and don't start with the self-blame game because that doesn't work, but each party must have some qualities they're bringing to that relationship for each other. Sometimes couples get together for simple reasons of FOMO. You know what FOMO is? FOMO, fear of missing out of a significant partnership. So fear of being alone. Some people just need to be with others no matter what. So you overlook all kinds of red flags and you say to yourself and you rationalize, oh, it'll be fine. We'll work that out. He'll change. She'll change. It's not going to happen. So whatever you see is what you get. Change occurs over time when both parties can give and take. Seldom one person's fault when a relationship breaks up. Sometimes it is. Somebody's not bringing their whole 100% to the relationship. Other times it's a combination of personality factors that just didn't fit together. So for example, sometimes you may wonder why you ever got together in the first place. It's like, or maybe you've heard so many friends say, what are you doing with him? Or what are you doing with her? And when you get too many, you get several people noticing something, chances are there's definitely something wrong. But you may have those blinders on, those proverbial love blinders. We all love to be loved. Let's face it, it's nice. Okay, as far as a relationship goes, chemistry is not easy to achieve. It's not easy to find. And so some people may be luckier than others. Some may forcefully do it and direct themselves to do it, go out and find another partner. Some are better at it than others. We all know that. Let's say there's a female who happens to be a sloppy housekeeper, okay? Things are not going well. The house is always unkempt. Things are not in their places. Man number one may perceive her to be lazy, and perhaps they fight about it. They argue. She perceives his words as condescending. He perceives her lack of interest in the relationship by not keeping up. Whereas secondarily, she may meet a man, let's say man number two comes along, and he cares less about how the house is kept, but more part that the way she treats him, to the point where he actually enjoys a laissez-faire kind of relationship. Let the housekeeping go. As long as you can make love to me, I'm happy. That's fine. Okay. So no one is involved as a bad person. It's just a different preference of what priority comes first. So you look at yourself, say, what is your priority in a relationship? What do you want? What is not negotiable? And that set your aims to go for that kind of person. Now, in the spiritual world, they would say that you came into one another's life to teach each other a lesson. And there is something that left your life a bit better because of that experience, more experienced, more understanding, more appreciation for a compromise. So if you approach the breakup from a spiritual perspective and say, okay, so-and-so came in my life and we had time together and now it's over, but what is it that I can take away from that relationship that gives me a bonus or a win? It may not be even, you may not both find the same thing, it may be different, but it's not easy, but it definitely is something you want to consciously do. Make a rationale as to what you got as a benefit out of the relationship. That helps you to solidify it. And there's always good, there's always something. So take that positive something and run with it. Okay, take that positive and run. You don't want to wear your heart on your sleeve, of course. You don't want to go around crying to everybody, oh, boo-hoo, my boyfriend left me. And, it gets old. Your friends can hold up with you just for so long. That depends on the person's makeup. So some guys break up with you after some time living together, and you do not want to start the self-blame exercise. Okay, they'll say, oh, why wasn't I enough? Why didn't I give this person more? Why couldn't he have loved me the same way I love? But there's a million reasons why people do not click together. Okay, there's a lot of variables that goes into making up a relationship. So stop the self-blame, because that doesn't help. Some people remain loyal no matter what, and some people don't have it in their makeup to stick with it through the hard times. Of course, the first place a female goes to is assuming that he's got another lady on the side, and that's why he's all of a sudden wants this breakup. That may or may not be true. Same thing with a guy, if you start to get jealous right off the bat. So whatever the smokescreen problem is, and I say smokescreen because often the bottom line is they just don't care enough to work on it or to make it work. And that hurts like heck. I agree, hurts like heck. But at least keep in mind, so he wants to be free to pursue whatever, or she wants to be free to go find herself. Let's see if that works. But once a party says, I need a break, we all freeze. It's like, oh no, that's it. Never as good. It's never a good sign. We know that, oh God, here we go. What was going on? How did I miss this? Why did I let this happen? Why did I make him want to leave? And so you have to stop that line of thought. That's negative. You have to be positive, whether you're the guy or the girl. And obviously, he or she is just not into you. That movie, he's just not that into you. And that's what the problem is. Because, in a courtship, when the man is trying to pursue the woman, he definitely goes all overboard. Same thing with a woman. If she's pursuing a man, she's all sweet and cuddly and everything's great. But when the relationship solidifies and you actually merge together, the other side comes out, and that's when problems begin. A major warning sign for all people is that he or she is not that convinced they want to be with you, and they are not in agreement that you are the one, you are the person. It's not that good. Obviously, that makes you feel terrible about yourself. So it's not exactly a warm, soul-warming kind of a gesture when somebody says, I need a break. So once that does occur, and the break takes place, even before the breakup occurs, that intuition must have been in there somewhere. Be sure to line up your support systems. So whether it's a relative, a sister, a friend, be sure to get those friends lined up because you're going to need them. Okay. It really helps to kind of sulk with someone. Don't stay home alone and sulk, because then you just become more and more depressed. Call in your best friends, call your relatives, your siblings, your parent, whoever it is you feel close to, so that they can listen to you as you vent. Okay. You got to decompress after a breakup, and it's hard because you miss the person. You can't allow yourself to feel so isolated that absolutely no one cares about you, because that's not true. We all have extended family that would care if we opened up a little bit. Now, of course, it's worse depending on how long you were together, but it's also worse depending on how emotional you are when all these things happen. Some of us we can cope. Some of us can say, okay, you don't want me, goodbye, say goodbye. And then other times we be crying for a long time afterwards. So you may need a few days, a few weeks, a few months. It could go that long, depending on how invested you were emotionally. If you and he and she really loved each other, then if you thought that was the one, then by all means, it's going to hurt a lot more. We'll say if it's family members and you have children with them, it's even worse. Okay. What are the kind of things you could do? Number one, you can put distance between you and all the familiar places that you went together. If need be, take a vacation and get away from that area where you went together, especially the first week or two. Okay. It is amazing how you can gain a much better perspective when you put physical distance between you and the places and neighborhoods that you hung out together. All the places, maybe a favorite nightclub, maybe a favorite restaurant, maybe a favorite hike in the woods, whatever it was that you did together, make sure you just get far away from that, because that physical distancing actually makes it easier to do an emotional distancing, you see, because all couples can break up physically. You go here, I go there. But if you're emotionally tied to that person, it's going to keep pulling you back. And you're never going to move on with your life. You're going to keep thinking of what you had, what you wish you had, what you had together. And so those things need to be put to the back of your mind. And that helps if you go in your apartment or your house and you gather up all the personal memorabilia and make sure that you put it away. You don't have to break it, smash it, or burn it, because maybe someday you'll look at it differently. But put all that personal belongings into a box and tape it up and put it in the garage or out of sight, wherever that needs to be. Your perspective on your own breakup will be so much clearer after you take at least a small trip. Okay, go away for a weekend, go for a drive, go home and see family members, but don't keep crying and sitting by yourself. If you do that, you will feel emotionally empowered if you put that physical distance between you and your emotional ties, such as pictures, sweatshirts, jackets, receipts from restaurants, etc., tickets from a game you went to. Take that emotional garbage and put it in a big box and sign it off and seal it up and put it in the garage. Okay. This whole process still has more work to do. Of course, it's more complicated if children are involved, but let's hope for your sake they weren't. But in any case, you still have to go through the same process. There's another video for just talking about the main squeeze adult and how to communicate with relationships. So please, by all means, check out my channel, Felicia Ferrara, and YouTube, and check out other videos on communication. But in the meantime, now you're going through this, you've packed up all of the belongings, all the memories, put it away. You put distance between you and your lover. And you show getting stronger as you're doing this, because it's an act of empowerment, sort of like a ceremony where you put everything away. If you need help doing it, by all means, call in your girlfriends, your cousins, your whoever it is that you feel close to, and get that together. Whether you're the guy or the girl, bring in your friends. Okay, get a box of tissues. You can sulk, you could cry. Just give yourself a couple of nights, at most a weekend or two. But after that, you definitely need to get yourself up, and because that's what it takes. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Okay, thank you. May you always walk in light. Thank you for viewing our video. We hope you enjoy the elements that we provided for you. By all means, if you liked it, give us a thumbs up. If you want to leave a comment, we'd be happy to reply, as well as please subscribe to our channel. That helps us quite a bit. And by all means, check the links below for valuable resources to assist you in your hunt for love. Thank you.